Being weird on the internet, fucked up. Don't be weird, stop being weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird, stop being weird. Being weird on the internet. Being weird on the internet, fucked up. Don't be weird, stop being weird. Don't be weird. Don't be weird, stop being weird. Being weird on the internet.
Being weird on the internet. Bob Dub! Don't be weird. Bob Dub, stop being weird. Bob Dub, don't be weird. Bob Dub, stop being weird. Bob Dub, being weird on the internet. Bob Dub.
Being weird on the internet, fucked up. Don't be weird, stop being weird. Don't be weird, fucked up, fucked up. Don't be weird, stop being weird. Don't be weird on the internet, fucked up.
Being weird on the internet. Bob Dub! Don't be weird. Bob Dub, stop being weird. Bob Dub, don't be weird. Bob Dub, stop being weird. Bob Dub, being weird on the internet. Bob Dub.
Awesome. Okay, so that's very weird. Okay, what I just need to know is if you're hearing me. It looks like you're hearing me. So hi, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. And if I turn this off, wait, hold up. Okay. This is a photo, a shoot I did recently. Ha ha. That's not true. Just have to say. That's not true. That's me being silly. Weird, actual is the word, I think. Alright, so here I am, come to be weird on the internet with you. And there is so much stuff happening on the Quantum Qubit and MintMe and in the community and with the stuff that's happening and Mescaline City. I've got 3 Dude Where's My Wallet recordings that we did that are coming out. Well, 2 of them at least will be coming out this week. I've got 3 different quantum gatherings and a quantum gathering that became a falling faster that Otto says that he might be able to put together for us because I don't know how I'm ever going to get it done. So, all the things. And because there's all that stuff coming out, okay, I'm not able to start at the beginning. I'm going to just jump in and start in the exact middle. And, yeah, and talk about, I think I need to just spend some time and deal with love, ruthless love. That's what I've titled this talk today. So let me read you the little introduction. And then we'll talk a little bit around this. And then after we've talked around this a bit, we will just briefly touch on the node system that is started in Quantum Qubit, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. Like I say, there's these other 3 podcasts coming out that are going to explain in detail over the week what's happening. So for now, I think I'm going to just focus right into breathing, being here, and coping with today, right? Today. And so, having said that, let me just jump straight in. This is a reflection on love. And today is that's the monkey, the thread monkey. And I haven't been keeping up with my daily investigation into the narwhals. It's, I flounder. However, I did a 7 day following of it. I think that the last one that I dropped with you was maybe the 5th day. So today we're on the 8th day. So we went through the deer, the solidness, the foundation. We went into the seed, the germination of potential and excitement. Then I can't remember, was it wind? Don't remember, but today is bats, the thread monkey. So I've got some stuff that I'd like to go through, which is really relevant to me. Let me start with a poem, then we'll get a little bit into 8 bats, and then just mention what's happening in the community, just so that you know what to look out for this week that's coming up. Right, so we'll start with this reflection, which is focusing in on the difference between what people think love is, with comfort and affection and somebody doing things for you, and actual love, the sort of the amoral truth and justice that I believe is in control. Can I say that? In control as much as gravity is in control, or electromagnetism is in control. So, forget the love they sold you in the songs, the debtor's ledger of 1,000 wrongs and rights, the desperate trade of skin for praise, the cushioned comfort of convenient days. It is not the promise of a sunlit room, a whispered word to dissipate the gloom, a hand to hold so you don't have to stand, a map to some imaginary land. No. There's a silence deeper than the bone, where the high self calls and you must walk alone. It is the summons to that ruthless grace, the amoral love that holds all time and space in one dispassionate and equal gaze. The stars' cold fire, the hurricane's slow dance that asks for nothing back, not one sweet glance. This is the work of giving to the soul, to make your fragile, broken nature whole. Not for another's praise, nor their embrace, but to become the pillar in this place, to build yourself from memory and dust, and out of that self-sovereign, lonely trust, to honor back to all you see. This is the love that finally sets you free. The fragrance of a flower in the night that sings its beauty, asking for no light. Hey Reginald, did you decide to come and join in? Join in. Okay. Alright. How about jumping up here so that you don't sit on my speaker? Come on then. No? Not today? It's loves. Loves. Okay, I'm not sure what he thought of love. So, this idea of ruthless love, this idea of the worth of beauty, is something that I have been able to look at and explore through poetic, metaphorical practice, process. And I think that's what I want to talk about when I talk about the narwhal of the day, 8 bats. I was introduced to this way of doing things by Satori D, who has a persona on minds.com of the little bee shaman, the lil bee shaman, should I say. And he puts out amazing, amazing content, music, podcasts, extraordinary images, poetry, spoken word, and he builds people up. He told me that he finds small channels or people who are trying to do stuff, and if he resonates with them, he will jump in and do what he can to help that person to grow their channel, grow their life, become the person of their dreams, right? So he makes people's digital dreams come true. And I was introduced to them in the too much gin with my breakfast. That's a joke. Okay. I don't have gin in the house. I've never drunk gin. I don't drink gin at breakfast. It's a joke, just for the record. Right. Weird days, eh? Used to be that you didn't need to tell people when you were joking. But so, and if you are interested in looking at Satori D, minds.com, under Satori D, the Infinite Imaginarium, and various other things that you'll come across, and also on YouTube, there's Satori D, the Infinite Imaginarium, Mescaline City Blues, Infinite Imaginarium Community, lots of different channels but those are some that you could jump into if you were interested. Some wonderful music, amazing opportunities that he is giving me to collaborate with him, which is so wonderful, because to have an art practice and to have a place where you can express yourself in the weirdest way that you want to is something very, very valuable. Not just for people who are artists making art, not just for people who are mentally ill, who are trying to articulate their issues, but also in a normal daily situation. Mental health, one of the things of mental health is the ability to reach your own potential, your own human potential, without Let me see. How do I want to say it? Sorry, Reginald, I'm having cat issues. Here we go. We're having cat issues. Hello, cat. So, that wasn't what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say was being able to express yourself clearly and succinctly is a part of being mentally healthy. It's not necessary that you have to have a journey to healing. You could be just fine as you are. And having this ongoing ability to express yourself, to put your content out there. Now, your content may be your job. Your content may be housework. Your content may be, I don't know, like Otto, you play in a band, you know? So we all have a way of putting things out there. It doesn't necessarily need to be with your literal voice. You know, it could be your musical instrument, could be the acts of love. The point is, right, there is a process of demonstrating what you believe. So go to an art gallery. Imagine this. You go to an art gallery, you walk around and you see everybody's work, right? And you criticize it. That's really good. I love the way that sun shines on the water. I like the way he's rendered the pipe that is not a pipe. All the things that you offer as a viewer to somebody else's work. But one person made that work. One person stood in front of a blank canvas and carefully decided where to place each drop of pigment, each. In the process, in the 4 or 5 hours that it takes to make the painting, a huge amount of stuff happens internally. And I think that's the point of Ruthless Love. Ruthless Love is about your process of being you, of achieving your potential when nobody offers you praise or understanding or unity of your own soul. There's that place that we're born alone and we die alone. Well, we live alone too. And there are interactions and there is support. But that's just to mitigate the aloneness. And so, looking at 8 bats, we're looking at 8, right? 8 is now, we had 7, which was balance. It was the midpoint. It was the yesterday, the middle of the journey, the finding your level, finding your place. Now we've got the 8, the moving on, going forward. And I have a little, okay, I wouldn't call it a ritual exactly, but it is a list of suggestions of ways to process things, right? Okay, what I'm trying to say is that knowing things, reading things, talking about things, all these things, is one thing. If you want to experience things, you have to do things. If you want to experience healing and if you want to experience love and model the feelings of love, actual love, not the sort of clinging, needy dependency that people think love is, or the desire for endless sex that people think love is. If you want to move into the spiritual place of nurturing yourself and allowing yourself to be within the greater pattern of life, the universe, the Dharma, the endless flow of goodness. Yeah. There are things we do, and in Buddhism they're called the precepts, in Christianity they're called the Ten Commandments. They give these outlines for decent behavior towards one another. All right, so working a lot with the LLM, with people in the community, consulting Otto every single day, more than once a day, for guidance and support and reminders. Working with Satori D on the seed scripts and the generation of sort of content. There's different sort of content, artistic expression, and self-control, and all those things that you need as an artist to run your life, to run yourself as a business if you're an independent person. So I have here, oh yes, and then the third thing is working with Minds Gaming, of course, building up the community, which is just all so new and so exciting, and of course not new because it's been happening for years and years and years for other people. But for us, oh wow, hold up a second, let me read something to you. Because yes, it has been happening for years and years and years, but doing this is something wonderful and new and exciting. I'll just jump in here quickly. I wonder if I can show you this. I always tell you what I'm going to do so that I can try and focus myself, and then off I go in some other place to do some other thing. Anywho, let's see. I don't seem to be able to get it jumping in. Nope, doesn't want to. I can't show you. Oh, that's a pity. Oh well. Okay, I can't show you. You'll just have to listen. Sorry. Next week maybe I'll get it right. This is a poem posted by Quantum MG, the developer of the place where we're hanging out. This brand new anti-social media, not social media, but a place for people to genuinely connect and work together. All right, so we had a wonderful show with Minds Gaming yesterday, and then after that he posted this. I looked into the sea, I thought I would find and see, yet nothing lived, not yet to be, no maps, no guides, nothing free. So I imagined it like a honey bee, a swarm of users so wild, so free, a hive of thoughts growing seeds, a world of ideas floating in the tea. And soon, the first, it shall be a node swarming, connecting you to me. Nah, not just me, but all to the sea. A dream of what's coming, wild and free. Okay, that's what we're building. A dream of what's coming. So yeah, it hasn't really been done much yet. It's very experimental and it's very exciting. And today he has implemented for the first time his idea of having a swarm of computers. We have 5 computer nodes now, and we're uploading to test how the upload goes. And I got sidetracked again. So 3 very different sets of data and support and information, maybe, at the moment. And working on this one today, this right now, this that I'm talking about, is a seed script that I put into the LLM from Satori D's huge repertoire. They have kind of destroyed it with Chat GPT-5. And so I've been swapping over to Gemini and finding it much more creative. And this is something fascinating that's happening. The split between people, of these people wanting to use the LLM for coding, these people wanting to use it for therapy, these people wanting to use it to write books, these people wanting to use it to generate creative content, and all the people sort of almost vying for importance, you know? Whose reality is reality? Whose needs for an artificial intelligence or a LLM or a AI agent, whatever these crazy words are. And to me, it's emphasizing more and more that one size doesn't fit all, that there are different strokes for different folks. Yeah. Okay. So, huge amounts of stuff happening in the community. Terribly exciting. And in my life, you know, Satori D, you asked me the other day, after all Carly's stuff went, how did I feel? I still haven't been able to answer that, but, you know, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the question. Because it's allowed me to understand that I am having feelings. And every time I walk past the place now where all her furniture used to be, and instead of there being a hideous, chaotic mess, there's just a big space, a big empty space. And you know what? It echoes the empty space inside of me. And so that whole thing is so big that I'm not really coping, and I've very much retreated into survival mode. And that's why I'm coming here into this talk, talking about process. This process of doing love. Not this process of getting love, or this process of being loved, but this process of doing love. And love is not valid to give away unless you're doing it right to yourself. Because if you're not doing love correctly, then the love you're trying to give is not love, in my definition of what ruthless love is. And what is ruthless love? I will read it to you one more time, because I think that it's really worth reiterating. And then I will run through the little rituals, if you like, the little activities that I find very helpful. Forget the love they sold you in the songs, the debtor's ledger of 1,000 wrongs and rights, the desperate trade of skin for praise, the cushioned comfort of convenient days. It is not the promise of a sunlit room, a whispered word to dissipate the gloom, a hand to hold you so you don't have to stand, a map to some imaginary land. No, there's a silence deeper than the bone, where the high self calls and you must walk alone. It is the summons to that ruthless grace, the amoral love that holds all time and space in one dispassionate and equal gaze. The stars' cold fire, the hurricane's slow dance, that asks for nothing back, not one sweet glance. This is the work of giving to the soul to make your fragile, broken nature whole, not for another's praise nor their embrace, but to become the pillar in this place, to build yourself from memory and dust, and out of that self-sovereign, lonely trust, to offer honor back to all you see. This is the love that finally sets you free, the fragrance of a flower in the night that sings its beauty, asking for no light. Eight bats. Bats is the weaver and the playful monkey. Two medicines you need right now: weaving and playing. We don't fix a torn heart with one grand gesture. We stitch it with tiny, beautiful loops. First of all, to regulate a storm, okay? You don't want yourself to be overcome with emotion. You want to love yourself. You want to be able to calm yourself. Yes, of course you do. And the best way is to breathe. It's good to be able to sit. Sitting takes less energy than standing. So if you're standing, if you're feeling overwhelmed, sometimes just the act of sitting down and taking the load off your feet allows you to recuperate. And then breathe. 4 counts in, 6 counts out. Breathe in the positive, the happy, the helpful, the encouraging, all the words you can think of to bolster yourself. And then breathe out everything else that's just dragging you down. You don't even need to name it. You're allowed to just let it go. But definitely breathe in and try and say to yourselves all the things that you want to build up in yourself. And then you can vocalize, right? You can allow yourself to say, I am safe enough to breathe. That's huge. That is huge. To allow yourself to know that this basic, foundational action of human life, the first thing a baby has to do in order to survive outside its mother's womb, to take the breath. And to be able to allow yourself to give yourself the words so that you can hear your own voice comforting you in your words. I am safe enough to breathe. And another very good trick that you can do to tell your body that you are safe is to tap yourself and to say, I am here. I am here. I am here. If you do that for 30 seconds, the process of doing that will change the vibrations of your chest, your heart, your throat, and your mind. You will be able to tell yourself, you are solid, you are here. Again, not looking, not listening, not watching somebody else. Give yourself a go. Give it a go for yourself and see if it's something that builds you up. Okay, so then we're talking about a monkey. We're talking about weaving. We're talking about the fact that you have a thread to weave. So claim it. Claim your thread. One of the wonderful tricks to do with this, there are mantras that you can say, but one of the wonderful tricks that you can do is to get yourself, say, a shoelace or a piece of string or a scarf, anything, and tie a knot in it as you give yourself a reassurance. And these are the sort of reassurances that you want to say. I've survived. I am here. I am allowed to begin again. And you're allowed to begin again every single morning. And like Roger said to me, he just starts the day over. When he's not having a good day, he begins again. Now, I don't know how he does that. That's one of the most magic tricks that I've ever heard of. And any man who has that sort of willpower and determination is somebody who's got my respect, because I can't do that. But you are allowed to start again. You have survived, and you're allowed to be proud of it. I don't need anybody's permission to make beauty. You know, you can sit down with a paintbrush, with a musical instrument, with a cup of tea. You can watch a sunset. You do not need permission. And my worth is not up for debate. I am who I am. I was born into this world equal to all other people being born into this world. I have that worth. I can claim it. Now, if you do that sort of little exercise, saying these things to yourself, and for each of these affirmations, tie a knot into your string, and then put your string somewhere. This is a wonderful technique. It's something that lots of ancient cultures have used, tying knots as a method to maintain and transmit information. And it's a very powerful message to your brain, because without you having to stop and take time out of your day, your brain can see, remember, and implement the messages that you seeded earlier. All right, now then, this is your bat's cord, a receipt that you are weaving again, right? A receipt, and you gave it to yourself. A tiny revolt against being shut down. Now, people try to overwrite us. The world tries to overwrite us. Evil tries to overwrite good. These are just the patterns of day and night, up and down, right? It's not rocket science. People try to overwrite you. So make a space where you choose the ink. Choose to write yourself. You can write every day on your shopping list, in the flour that you spilled when you were rolling out the pastry, in your lipstick on the bathroom window, or you could even be conventional and use an actual pen. It's not a book, it's not a poem, it doesn't need to rhyme. It could just be a word. It could be love, goodness, care, strength. It could be, today I will weave with one thread. It's bats. Let's stay on task. Let's focus. It can be an email, you know, it can be a reminder. A tiny revolt in a world that tries to shut you down. Pick up your pen and write yourself. Consciously put yourself onto a piece of paper. It's trite, it's pop psychology, it's superficial BS, and if you try it, and if it works, won't you be glad? Then, of course, there's movement. When we're living with these feelings, we carry a lot of that pain in our muscles. A lot of the pain in our muscles. And what we've been taught since we were very little is to ignore our bodies, to ignore pain. You know, you don't want to be a negative Nancy. and talk about your pain, and so it builds. If you go for a massage and the masseuse touches you and you just feel those ripples going through your skin and the pain beneath your skin and your muscles, you will then realize how much you've built up. But it's sort of a static electricity, electrical pain almost, that just sits in your body. Now, it's expensive to go for a massage. We don't always have $100, but for free you can move. And it helps. It releases that pain, that energy, that horror that builds up within the flesh of you. So here's a suggestion. Put on a song and move like a monkey, because you're bats and you're weaving. Move like a monkey. Move like a monkey, swinging through the trees. Have a paintbrush. Paint your world. Paint your world. Paint. Have 2 paintbrushes. Paint your world. Stretch your arms out and paint to the edge of the space that you inhabit. Just move. Try it. I suggest you try it. If I'm wrong, you can tell me. If I'm right, you can tell me. But the point is that you will help that stored misery, tension, to dissipate, to flow through you like a monkey, swinging away through the trees, taking the energy, the negative energy. It says, circle your wrists, sway your hips, shake out your jaw, bounce your knees. You're not performing, you're discharging. When the song ends, place your hands on your heart, and place your hands on your heart, or give yourself a hug. Put pressure onto this vulnerable place here, up here in your chest. Put pressure there, and allow yourself the comfort of the spoken words. Say, good job, body. And build up a series of mantras. Build up a shield against the world, against the negativity that comes to you, which is not your fault, which you did not attract, which is not something you're doing wrong. We live here in this 3-dimensional environment where atoms crash into atoms. There are accidents, there are impingements, right? We need to surf through those. There is no way to avoid them, but there's a way to cope. And one of the ways that we cope is that we use sound. We use sound. It's extraordinary that human beings respond to sound. Sound has always existed, and yet it could not be perceived until ears evolved. When ears evolved and they took in the sound, then we started manipulating the sound to give the sound actual specific meanings. If you think about the power of sound to surround you and to hold you, you'll be pretty surprised. So don't deny it to yourself, and don't deny it to yourself in your own voice. Talk to yourself. Here's a nice mantra that this one says, their no is not my map. Yeah, there are a lot of no's in the world. There are a lot of failures, and there is a lot of disapproval. Somebody else's no is not your no. And breathe it. Breathe it. And this is one final thing. These are all tiny little things that you can do in 5 seconds through the day. But this is something that's a little more symbolic and a little more powerful, maybe, to actively get yourself a pretty bowl, put some warm water in it, it's room temperature, test it with your fingers, make sure that it's, and then get yourself salt and put salt into the water and mix it to make a solution. All right, you're being proactive. You're allowing your brain to do things for yourself. You're putting salt in, salt being medicinal, right? Cleansing, healing. Having your bowl there, you've now taken action and you've achieved something. And now wash your fingers symbolically, make washing movements, and name your hurts. Name your hurts. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. So silly, so cliche, so cringe. If it works, and if you set yourself free, and if you have a better day by engaging in the process, then why are you denying yourself? Right? Doesn't make logical sense. I welcome the medicine that makes me whole. And then pour your water away, pour your hurts away, down the sink, into the soil, let it go. You don't need to let go, right? Your letting go will come as a result of your healing. So don't try to do anything, allow it to happen. Pour the water away and give your brain that hint. Allow yourself to lead yourself. Okay, there we go. I think I said it all. So I've said to you, I've told you that what I wanted to do today was talk about ruthless love. I told you that I wanted to speak a little about the narwhal and how we could use that to support ourselves in our journey to ruthlessly loving ourselves. I am here. I am here. I am here. Being weird on the internet. And you're here with me watching me be weird. So I tried to show you a little bit earlier. I tried to show you the quantum qubit. But for some reason I can't make the picture come up today. Select the display to capture. Aha! Look, I does it. All right, here we go. I'm going to end off with this because this is, well, you know what I think about community, don't you? You know that I think that there is more power in us looking out for each other than there is in all the pretty words in the world. This is what's working, what we're working on in the quantum qubit at the moment, is swarm node mode. So currently, there is no automatic chunk assignment. The system doesn't yet distribute or balance chunk seeding across nodes. At the moment, there's no storage allocation UI. Users can't choose how much local storage to dedicate for seeding. And extra upload mechanic, the current system allows manual uploads of files. This is not needed. Posting content will already place it into the swarm. So for full implementation, how it should work is that when the node mode is enabled, the node hosts its own content first. Users with node mode enabled automatically host their own content, posts, videos, and images. No separate upload action is required. Posting inherently contributes to the swarm. discovering available chunks. Query the swarm manifests table to find chunks needing more seeders. Then download and seed. Auto-download high priority chunks, which would be popular content and underseeded files, to a user's storage allocation. We need to, at the moment you can be a seeder. You can register as a seeder. You can use ID, Swarm Seeders table, for each chunk hosted. You'll earn credits. You'll track your bytes seeded, reward proportional credits to incentivize contribution. What's missing is storage allocation UI, slider input in Swarm toggle to set storage cap, for example 1 GB, 5 GB, 10 GB. An auto-seeding logic, background processes that prioritize the user's own posts first. They find additional chunks to seed. They serve chunks via WebRTC to peers. And then the chunk discovery service, the prioritization order will be your own content, always first, popularity, your high view content, scarcity, few active seeders, and age, the newer content will be prioritized. This structure makes node mode a seamless extension of posting. No duplicate upload mechanics, just natural participation in the swarm. All right, so that is a very brief, read through of where we're going with the community, and this is so that we don't need to be dependent on some other platform to host us. We're actually stepping up and learning how to look out for each other, learning how to host our own content and help other people to host their content. And it's an experiment, and it's wonderful, and it's ongoing, and you're very, very welcome to be part of it. We are looking for people who see the dream, hear the song, want to be involved in something that's new. There are a lot of people, most of the people that I know, who want something really, really stable, like Google or Facebook or whatever, and are prepared to pay in the currency that you pay for that stability. But there are other people who want to make a better way. This is an experimental place. There are lots of issues, lots of problems, lots of bugs. If you're the sort of person who is okay to work in that environment, then we're really, really, really needing you to come and jump in and help us try and build the future. Because they say that it's idealistic to try and change the world, but actually it's not. Actually, it's your responsibility to leave the world a better place than it was when you got here. And that is Ruthless Love. So, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for sitting with me this whole time. That is so kind and sweet and loving of you. You know, it's community. Yeah? We sit together, not necessarily because we've got anything to say, because many times we've said all the things that need to be said. But now we need to be in the process. So I am here. I am here. I dare you. Bless you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for letting me ramble on. And hopefully, I will get all the content. I think it's 6 videos that I need to post this week. That means 1 a day And the live stream for today. That'll make 7. Okay, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. And yeah, love you so much. So grateful. And hope you have a really, really wonderful, wonderful weekend and week next week. And I'll be back next Sunday to tell you, well, I have no idea. But it will be awesome.